Today our topic is functions. Let's start with the definition of functions. What are functions? Function is basically a mapping. We have two sets. One is called set A and the other is called set B. And the set A has elements 1 to 3 and set B has elements A, B and C. Function is basically if this all the elements of set A maps on the elements of set B, then it is called a function. Okay, it's basically a mapping. When all the elements of set A maps on the elements of set B, then it is called a function. There are some examples. The other example is I have set A including elements 1, 2, 3 and the set B including elements 2, 4 and 6. These are the elements and these are the elements. I told you what is a function. If all the elements of set A maps on the elements of set B, it's compulsory that every element of A has an image in the set B. Okay, for example, I draw the mapping like this. Two elements of set A maps on a single element of set B. So it is also a function because I told you that every element of set A must map on the elements of set B. Okay, so here the elements of A all maps on the elements of B. So it's another example of function. So this is the definition of function, and function is basically a mapping in which all elements of set A has unique image in the set B. Always. Okay, the next thing is that the elements of set A is called, this set elements is called domain of function, and the elements of set B of function is called range. Remember that set A elements is called domain of the function and set B elements is called the range of the function. Only those elements which are mapped. For example, in the set B, A, B, C, all these elements are mapped. You can say has a pre-image in the set A, so the range is A, B, C, and in this case the range is 2 and 6 because only 2 and 6 have the mapping but 4 doesn't have, so it is called the it doesn't include in the range of the function. So set A elements is called the domain and set B elements is called the range. Now let's see what is an inverse function. For example, our function is this A and B, function having sets A and B and the mapping is 1 to 3 and A, B, C is 1 to 1 correspondence. Okay, this is a function. For example, if we want to make the inverse of this function, you have to write the B set here and maps the elements of set B on the elements of set A. In this function, A elements map on the elements of set B. To find the inverse of function, you have to map the elements of set B onto set A, and we get a new function which is called inverse of function. For example, A maps on 1, B maps on 2 and C maps on 3. In this case, 1 maps on A, 2 maps on B and 3 maps on C. So it's another function. But when you say a maps on 1, b maps on 2 and c maps on 3, so this is another function, but it's called the inverse of this function. How we write the inverse of function? It is denoted by f power minus 1. This is the representation of inverse of function. Okay, so in general, how we write it? If I would say y is equals to f of x, this is the representation of a function. Function can be written as f of x. Okay, if I would say y is f of x, for example, if any function f of x is equal to y, then f inverse of y is equals to x. I would say if I take the inverse of this y, it is equals to x. So these are the two things which we have to do before doing the exercise. You have to know about what are functions and inverse function, a little bit of introduction. Let's start with the question. This is your question related to functions. You have to most probably given f of x function and you have to find f of 2x plus 1. What does it mean? It means that this function is in the form of x, f of x. This is the function. Here we use x, and x. But when you have to find f of 2x plus 1 or anything else, you have to just put the given bracket value in the place of x. Okay, let's solve the question. You have to find f of 2x plus 1. How you can use it or solve it? Look, the question given is f of x and I wrote, instead of x I wrote 2x plus 1, which I have to find. So what will I do? Instead of place of x, I write everywhere 2x plus 1. Okay, because I have to find the value of f of 2x plus 1. So this is x. Instead of x, I write 2x plus 1. Whole square remains same, plus 3 remains same. Next is x. Put the value of 2x plus 1 instead of x, which we have to find out, plus 2 remains same. Okay, now what we will do, it becomes 2x plus 1 whole square. You all know it becomes a formula a plus b whole square, which is equals to a square plus b square plus 2ab. So I'm expanding the formula here. A square plus b square plus 2ab plus 3 multiplying by this bracket. So 3 2s are 6x plus 3 1s are 3 plus 2. Now opening the square, 2x square becomes 4x square plus 1 square 1 plus 2 2s are 4x plus 6x plus 3 plus 2. Now just simplify the terms which you are seeing can be simplified. 4x square is the only term, so it remains same. 1 plus 3 plus 2, these are the constants, so we can add them all. 5 plus 1 6 and plus both these numbers have x variable, so they can be added together. 4x plus 10x, 9x becomes 10x. So this is your answer. You have to just find the f of 2x plus 1. So where you see x, replace it with the given value which they are asking from you. So your question will be done. Let's do another example. This is our question. We are given g of x is this function and you have to find g of x minus g of x minus 1. You have g of x but you don't have g of x minus 1. So let's find out first g of x minus 1. How we can find it? Replace in the place of x just x minus 1. Okay, Here is x, I wrote x minus 1. Here is x again, I am writing here x minus 1 and plus 1 as it is. Bracket plus minus would be cancelled and it becomes 1 over 2 x minus 1 into bracket x. So simplified it, how we can write it? 1 over 2 x multiplied by x square minus x. So this is your g of x minus 1, and what you have to find, g of x minus g of x minus 1. So write it again, g of x minus g of x minus 1. What is the value of g of x? It is given in the question. I am writing it here, 1 over 2 x plus 1, subtracting minus symbol, g of x minus 1 value is this. Put the value here, 1 over 2 x square minus x. Now do simplification as much as possible, as much as you can do. For example, 1 by 2 multiply x with this, x square plus x minus 1 by 2 into x square minus plus 1 by 2 into x. I multiply this 1 by 2 with this bracket. Now again multiply this 1 by 2 with this bracket. It becomes 1 by 2 x square plus 1 by 2 x minus 1 by 2 x square plus 1 by 2 x. This is your simplification. What you will see, what we can do, we are saying this value is in the plus and this value is in the negative, so we cut both of them. Okay, and simply you got the answer 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 because there is 2 in the denominator, so we take LCM and it becomes 1 plus 1, 2 over 2, and it is 1x. So this is your answer. I hope you understand, but for your convenience I can write here 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 becomes 2 by 2, and cutting after simplification it becomes 1, so I write 1x here. This is your answer. You can simply solve it, what the required question is. Okay ji, the next question statement is here. You are given the function h of x, which is this, and you are given h of 2 is equals to 32 and h of minus 3 is equals to 29. You have to evaluate the value of h of 4 and h of minus 2. Also find the value of p and q. Okay, first of all, let's start. We have given h of 2, so we are using this h of 2 which we are given. Put the value of 2 in the question where we are saying there is x. P of x, in place of x we write 2 plus q of x we write 2 plus 2 as it is, and h of 2 given in the question is equal to 34. So I am putting the value of h of 2 is 34 is equals to p 2 square 4 plus 2q plus 2. 34 is equals to 4p plus 2q plus 2. 2 is adding, when it goes on the other side it becomes subtract, and 34 minus 2 it becomes 32 is equals to 4p plus 2q. You can say this is your equation number 1 because you have to find the values of p and q. Okay, next thing you are given is h of minus 3. H of minus 3, how we can write it? Put the value in h of x where we have x, put it minus 3 or replace it by minus 3. P instead of x I am write here minus 3 square plus qx minus 3 plus 2. This is the question. Now p minus 3 square becomes 3 3s are 9 plus minus minus 3q plus 2. H of minus 3 is given the value, you have already know the answer, which is 29, so I am putting it here 29, and the 2 is adding, so we subtract it. on the other side, and it becomes 9p minus 3q. 29 minus 2 becomes 27 is equals to 9p minus 3q. This is your second equation. Now what we will do, we got the two equations. One is 32 is equals to 4p plus 2q, and other is 9p minus 3q. How you can solve it or find the value of p and q? Simply what you have to do, you solve it simultaneously. How we can solve it simultaneously? You have to make the coefficients of one variable equal. For example, here it is 2q and here it is 3q. If I multiply 3 by 2, it becomes 3 to the 6q, and if I multiply 2 by 3, it becomes 2 3 the 6q. Here it becomes 6q and here it becomes 6q. I made them both similar, so we can cancel them out. Okay, how we can solve it? We are using the simultaneous method, so we can easily make the coefficient of one variable similar, so we can cut them easily. Now let's start. Named it as equation number 1 and named it as equation number 2. I am writing multiply equation 1 by 3. Okay, remember that you have to multiply the whole equation, not just that variable which you are trying to make it similar or change its coefficient. No, you have to multiply the whole equation. Okay, now multiply it. It becomes this, and when we multiply equation 2 by 2, it becomes why we multiply by 2 and 3? To make the coefficient of any variable same. I make mine to make the variable of q equal. Here it becomes 6, here it becomes 6. Now it is plus 6 and minus 6, so we add both equations. Add equation 3 and 4. You will say this is your equation number 3, this is your equation number 4. Add them. 96 is equals to 12p plus 6q over 54 18p minus 6q. When we add them, both of them plus minus cancelled, and this becomes 30p is equals to this is your simplification. And now we can simply find the value of p from here, because 30 is multiplying here, or when it goes to other side it will be in the divided. 0 is 0 cancelled, 3 1 the 3 and 3 5 the 15. It means what is the value of p? Its value is 5. Now you can find the value of q easily by putting the value of p in any equation, in either equation number 1, in either equation number 2. I'm putting equation number 1. So 32 is equals to 4p plus 2q. 32 is equals to 4. Instead of p, I am writing 5, its value this, plus 2q. 32 is equals to 32 minus 20 is equals to 2q. This becomes 12 is equals to 2q. To find the value of q, you see 2 is multiplying here, when it goes to other side it will be divided, and 12 divided by 2, you got the answer 6. So what is the value of q? Its value is 6. Now what you have to do, you have to find the value of p and q, and both the values are known. Now next step is you have to find h of 4 and h of minus 2. Firstly, make h of x. H of x is equals to px square plus qx plus 2. It is in the form of p and q. Put the values of p and q. It becomes 5x square plus 6x plus 2. I put the value of p and q here and it becomes your new h of x. Now you have to evaluate the value of h of 4. How we do this? Simply in the place of x we put 4. 4 square plus 6 into 4 plus 2. Now simply just simplify it. 4 plus 2 it becomes 6 and 8 and 2 it becomes 10. So this is your h of 4, and what you will do next is to find the value of h of minus 2. For minus 2, put again in the place of x minus 2. It becomes 5 minus 2 square plus 6 minus 2 plus 2. 5 2 square 4 minus 6 to the 12 plus 2. 8 plus 2. This is your answer 10. It's the answer of h of minus 2. So all the required things are done. So this is your answer. This is your answer. I hope you understood it. Our topic of discussion is inverse function. In the previous video you got the introduction of inverse function. Again I am just revising it. What is the inverse function? It is just mapping from set B onto set A, and we got a new function called inverse of function. Just you have to reverse the direction of arrows, okay? And f of inverse function is denoted by f of minus 1. So you know that if f of x is equals to y, so when it becomes inverse, so you write it f inverse of y is equals to x. This form you have to remember. We use it in the questions as well. Now let's see an example, so you will get to know how we find the inverse of a function. The question you are given is f of x is this, and you have to find f inverse of x and then put the value of or find the value of f inverse of 5. So first of all, what is your target, or what is our target? You have to find f inverse of x, because we just know f of x, okay? Let's suppose start with let f of x is equals to y. This f of x is equals to y, so I'm putting y is equals to x over x minus 2. Okay, you have to make this whole term or the function in the form of y. Okay, how we make it? It is in the denominator. When it goes there, it will be multiplied by y, x minus 2, and it is equals to x. It becomes xy minus 2y is equals to x, and what we will do, we are saying y is common, x minus 2 is equals to x, and what it becomes now, what we have to do, we have to make the equation in the form of y. It's in the form of x. Okay, you have to make it in the form of y. You make separate x here and make the equation on the other hand in the form of y. So here is thing, it becomes again in the form of x. We don't do this. We will do this xy, and this xy goes there, and it will become minus 2y, it comes to there. Why I do this? Because you have to make the equation in the form of x, in the form of y, in the form of y, and you have to separate your x. So how we do this? Let's take the common. X is common, and it becomes y minus 1 is equals to 2y. Now x is equals to 2y over y minus 1. Keep in mind, you have to do this. You have to let f of x is equals to y, and then solve it or simplify it like this. You get x is equals to in the form of y. Okay, now see what you know. F inverse of y is equals to x. Again it is equals to x. So what we can do, we write instead of x here, it is equal to f inverse of y as well. So f inverse of y is equals to 2y over y minus 1. I hope you will get my point, and when we do another example, you will more easily understood. Now what you have to find, this is your f inverse of y. You have to find f inverse of x. Simply replace y with x. This is your f inverse of x. Now what you have to do, you have to find the value of f inverse of 5. For f inverse of 5, again replace x by 5. This is your f inverse of 5. Simply, if any other value they are asking, for example, if you have to find f inverse of minus 4, what you can do, again f inverse of minus 4 is equals to 2 in the place of x you put minus 4 over x in the place minus 4 minus 1, it is sign bigger value, minus and minus cancel, it becomes f inverse of minus 4 is equals to 8 over 5. So this is your answer, this is your answer. Let's do another question to find the inverse. Okay ji, our next question is this. You are given f of x, then you have to find f inverse of x, f inverse of minus 12, f inverse of 3 whole 1 by 3, and then f inverse of minus 3 over 16. These are the values you have to find, but firstly you have to find f inverse of x. Okay, this is also the representation of function. This is the function you are given, which is f of x is equals to 8 minus 3x. I write it like the previous way. This and this is same. Okay, this is also the way to write a function. F of x is equals to 8 minus 3x. What you have to do, you have to find f inverse of x. Firstly, you have to let y is equals to f of x. Okay, so y is equals to, what is f of x? 8 minus 3x. Its value is this, I put it here. Y is equals to 8 minus x. Now what we'll do, you have to separate the x here. Okay, so you can make the other side with the other variables. Here 8 is minus, here 8 is adding, and when it goes to other side, 8 minus y minus 8 it becomes, and it is minus 3x, and with the x minus 3 is multiplying, when it goes to other side becomes 8 y minus 8 over minus 3 is in the denominator, it is become x. I write this minus sign with the numerator. There is no problem if I write with the minus sign numerator or denominator. For simplification or to make it easy, when we multiply minus sign, it becomes minus 8 and minus minus plus 8 over 3. Now I can see 8 is positive, so I write it firstly 8 minus y over 3. I just change their places, which is equals to x. This is your uh, simplification, and you got x is equals to this. Okay, what we know, if y is equals to this, then we know the form f inverse of y is equals to x. Okay, what we get here, it is x and here it is x. Replace it by, we know f for x is equals to f inverse of y. So this is your f inverse of y, which is in terms of y, but we have to find f inverse of x. So just replace y with x. It becomes f inverse of x is equals to 8 minus x over 3. So this is your exact answer, because you have to find f inverse of x, not f inverse of y. Okay ji, our first thing is done. We have find the value of f inverse of x. This our term is done. Now what you have to do, you have to find the value of all these values: f inverse of minus 12, f inverse of 3 whole 1 by 3, and this. First of all, we will do f inverse of minus 12. What you have to do, you have to simply put the values in the given f inverse of x. I am writing it in the top so you can easily see. F inverse of x we got is equals to 8 minus x over 3. This is the inverse of the function. When you have to find f inverse of minus 12, simply put in place of x minus 12. Okay, over 3 is equals to 8 minus plus, it becomes 20 over 3. So this is your value of f inverse of minus 12. When you have to find the value of f inverse of 3 whole 1 by 3, firstly simplify it. It is equal to f inverse 3 3s 9 and plus 1 10 by 3. This mixed fraction is equal to this common fraction. Now put the value of 10 by 3 in the place of x. It becomes 8 minus, in the place of x I am putting 10 over 3, over in the denominator here is 3. Okay, you have to subtract it. 8 minus 10 over 3, here is in the denominator 1, multiply by 3 and multiply by 3 to make the denominator same. What you will get is equals to 24 over 3 minus 10 over 3 over 3. When you see the denominator is same, so 24 minus 10, it becomes 14 over 3, and the 3 is in the denominator, so it will be multiplied by this 3. Both are in the denominator, make it as a whole one denominator. So your answer is 14 over 9. This is your second done. Now the third one you have to find is unknown values, f inverse of minus 3 over 16. What you have to do, just again put in place of x this minus 3 over 13. Place the value which you have to find out. Over 3, in the denominator of 8 there is 1. Again make the denominator same. 8 minus minus plus 3 over 16. Again multiply by this 16 and multiply by 16 over 3. Now multiply 16 by 8. It becomes 128 over 16 plus 3 over 16 and whole denominator में 3. Put the equal signs here. Now what you will get, 128 plus 3, it becomes 131 over 16 multiply by 3, because this value is in the denominator, this value is in the denominator, both the denominators become common and you have to multiply both of them. It becomes 131 over 48. So this is your answer for f inverse of minus 3 over 16. I hope you will understand how we find the inverse of a given function. Just keep in mind these two things. Put f of x is equals to y and then make f inverse of y is equals to x. So you have to make sure you get the value of x, which you can replace by this f inverse of y. First you have to find the f inverse of y, then again replace it by x, so you get the f inverse of x. In the inverse questions, most similar questions you see are like this. Every question related to inverse question is simply just like this.